Once upon a time, this old farm was nothing more than a forgotten relic, a barn that smelled of hay, dust, and history. Today, it's a masterpiece of steel, wood, and nostalgia. But what you're about to hear isn't just a story about walls and windows. It's a story carved into every beam, whispered through every floorboard. For decades, this barn stood quietly against the wind. Seasons passed. Snow layered its roof, summer sun faded its color, and the world moved on. But this barn, it stayed. Not because it was strong, but because it was waiting. Waiting for someone to see more than decay. Waiting for someone to listen. And then, one day, someone did. Why would anyone take a 100-year-old barn and breathe new life into it? Why fight time when tearing down is easier? The answer isn't what you think. This wasn't about building a house. It was about rewriting a story that began with calloused hands hammering the first nails. A story of laughter during harvest, of quiet nights under oil lamps. This place carried memories, and memories deserve more than dust. So they began, not by erasing history, but by honoring it. Every plank, every scar, every rusted hinge was kept, not hidden. Because this was never about perfection, it was about soul. Steel met wood, glass met sky. Retro colors danced where hay once lay. Mint greens, soft creams, polished floors. Yet the old beams still stood, proud and unchanged. And in that balance between old and new, something magical happened. This barn didn't just become a home. It became a bridge between what was and what is. And as you listen to this story, you might wonder, what else could we save if we only dared to look past the dust? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it's a simple way to show your love for these incredible designs. It's hard to imagine now, but once, this place was nothing more than an old barn, weathered wood stretched across its bones like skin that had known too many storms. The doors hung heavy, groaning on rusty hinges that hadn't felt oil in decades. Each step across the floor spoke with a creak, a tired sigh from a structure that had carried too much weight for too long. The paint, what was left of it, peeled like paper curling in the sun. Dust clung to every beam, like time itself refusing to let go. In the corners, where light dared not reach, shadows gathered, hiding secrets, and maybe memories too old to tell. But listen closely, because these walls, they weren't silent. They spoke in their own way. Once, they echoed with the hum of tractors, the clatter of tools, the steady rhythm of boots on wood. There was laughter here, deep, hearty laughter that rolled like thunder across fields of golden grain. And maybe, just maybe, there were dreams woven into these walls. Dreams of building something bigger, something lasting. You can almost feel it, can't you? The life this barn once knew. The heartbeat beneath the beams. Every nick in the wood, every stain in the floor, they're not flaws. They're fingerprints of history. But as the years passed, silence settled in. Seasons wore it down. Wind ripped at its edges. Rain bled through its seams. And still, it stood, quiet, patient, like it was waiting for something. Or someone. And what if I told you, this barn was never meant to stay this way? What if its story wasn't over? What if, buried beneath the dust, there was still a spark, just waiting for the right hands to strike it into flame? Because that's exactly what happened. We share new content regularly to help you create spaces you love, so don't forget to subscribe. He came back when the noise of the city stopped sounding like music and started feeling like static. For years, he chased lights, deadlines, and dreams that belonged to someone else. But deep down, there was a pull, a voice that never stopped calling. And one day he listened. This land was his childhood. These fields had once carried his laughter. These barns had held his secrets. And when he saw that old structure again, tired, leaning, clinging to life, he didn't see a ruin. He didn't just see wood and steel. He saw memories and a future built on roots. Most people would have walked away. They would have torn it down, paved it over, started fresh. But not him. He wasn't looking for perfect. He was looking for meaning. And meaning can't be bought. So he dreamed. At first, it was just sketches on crumpled paper, late nights with coffee and quiet hope. Retro colors danced across those pages, soft pastels, bold accents, mixed with textures that spoke of both time and taste. He imagined polished floors where hay once lay, glass walls that would pull the sky inside, and vintage touches that felt like whispers from the past. But here's the truth. This wasn't about building a house. It was about rewriting a family story, giving these walls a second chance, and in doing so, giving himself one too. Every choice he made carried a purpose. Every detail held a memory. The brass fixtures that reminded him of his grandmother's kitchen. The reclaimed wood that once framed a window where he watched the world as a boy. This wasn't construction, it was conversation. Between then and now. Because when you return to your roots, you're not just coming back to a place. You're coming back to yourself. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means to me, and it helps keep the design ideas coming your way. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It began with a promise to keep the soul of the barn alive. And so, the frame stayed. Those old beams, strong and scarred, became the backbone of something new. They didn't hide the age, they celebrated it. From the outside, the barn still feels like a piece of history. Corrugated metal siding wraps around it. Bold pastel tones breathing life where gray once lingered. A splash of teal here, a kiss of cream there. Colors that whisper retro charm without losing their roots. And hanging above the door, a vintage sign rescued from a forgotten time, because every home deserves a name and a story to tell. Step inside, and the air changes. The floor opens wide, a space where light moves freely, where shadows dance across walls that have seen 100 years. The open floor plan doesn't fight the old beams. It bows to them, letting their presence anchor the room. Polished concrete stretches cool and smooth underfoot, broken up by the warmth of reclaimed wood that once framed the very walls of this barn. And then, the details. Oh, the details. Mint green appliances, like something out of a 1950s postcard, gleam under soft brass fixtures that glow like candlelight. Checkerboard tiles peek out in playful contrast, reminding you that style can be serious and still smile. Every corner whispers of the past, but sings with the joy of the present. And when he walked through these doors for the first time, something happened. His breath caught. His eyes, they glistened. Because it wasn't just a house anymore. It was every summer day he spent here as a boy. Every dream he carried to the city and back. Every piece of his story stitched together in wood, steel, and love. This wasn't a renovation. It was a resurrection. If you love this type of look, hit that subscribe button to help us create more videos. And let us know in the comments what you'd love to see in future videos. The beauty of this home isn't in the walls or the windows. It's in the details, the quiet things that carry a heartbeat. Because this isn't just design. It's resurrection. Every nail, every board, is a bridge between what was and what is. Take the furniture, for instance. Those antique pieces weren't bought in a store, they were born here. The old dining table that once held Sunday suppers? It's here again, polished but still carrying the scars of family stories. The rocking chair that sat by the barn door? It now rests by a window, rocking softly, as if it remembers the view it once had of endless fields. And then the wall. Not just any wall, but one crafted from the barn's original door. Weathered wood, knots and cracks intact, standing proud as a centerpiece. A reminder that some doors never really close. They just open in different ways. Everywhere you look, history breathes. A ladder turned into a bookshelf, a trough reborn as a planter. Pieces that once served the farm now serve the home. And somehow, it feels right, like the barn wanted this all along. Because this wasn't about erasing the past. It was about weaving it into the present. And that's what makes this home more than beautiful. It makes it alive. But here's the thing, as perfect as it looks now, as warm and whole as it feels, there's a part of this story you don't know yet. Something hidden in these walls. Something they found during the transformation. Something no one expected. What was it? A secret? A message? A piece of the past refusing to be forgotten? Stay with me, because the answer might just change how you see this barn forever. They thought the story was complete. The walls were standing proud, the floors gleamed, and every detail spoke of purpose. But then, during the final touches, tucked deep inside one of the old beams, they found something. It was small, fragile, a piece of paper, folded tight and yellowed with time. Hands shook as they opened it, afraid it might turn to dust. And there it was, a letter, a voice from a century ago. The handwriting was elegant, careful, the kind you don't see anymore.